moving over to the second story, which we call when your customer acquisition cost is the cost of cake. And it's a story about using content marketing and email marketing to build a buyer community and engage your audience. So to give you some context, we're talking about Kiwi again. So Kiwi has a program called the Friday Reader. It's a weekly email that looks something like that, that's being sent every Friday to their entire marketing and sales database of a few tens of thousands of people. And this is a typical one. You can see here that it's a collection of a bunch of links to articles, and the articles can be industry articles or original Kiwi content, articles that are recent, interesting, that we think our audience would be interested in. And every once in a while, definitely not too often, we would politely and mildly talk more about Kiwi and even suggest maybe engaging further. So it's a ratio of about 80% interesting, insightful, informative content from around the world, and 20%, hey, we're selling you something cool. So I'm gonna start with the results again. This is some of the feedback or the responses that we have received from recipients of these emails. And they're the kind of responses that as a marketeer, you really, you know, you dream about getting responses like that. Someone actually replying to a newsletter and saying, great job with this newsletter, like that doesn't happen often. Or like another great response from someone who's a great lead for Kiwi. And some of the mechanism of this program, so Kiwi has done a lot of work building their marketing database. So they have a good definition of their target persona, and they would work with list building and list buying tools and platforms to augment their database. And they would introduce people to their database by introing them to this program. So you can see here the type of email they would send to opt someone into this program, and the kind of responses we would get every once in a while. So someone actually thanking us for adding them into our mailing list and actually saying that they've been getting the emails as a forward. So really positive responses. And in terms of quantitative results, so this has been running strong for over 3 years now, every week. And it's been generating on average half a sales opportunity per week on average, with decent close rates. And I jokingly say that the cost of acquisition here was cake, because a year into the program, we ran a birthday party for Friday Reader and we got like a fancy cake. So that's the cost, but of course it's not the real cost. You don't spend direct dollars, but you spend the team's time. However, I would argue that the time investment is not huge, because ideally you'd be reading industry articles anyway. So most of the work is putting together the weekly email and writing it up, which is not too time consuming. And that's another strategy we've been replicating. So this is literally a 2% bootstrap startup. And these are the two people. One of them is a technical founder. One of them is just like an operations person. So no marketing or content muscle whatsoever. It's a biotech startup. And they've been doing the same thing. This is their version of the Friday Reader. It's a bi-weekly newsletter. They use MailChimp to send it. It's curating content of relevant industry articles, which Elad, the founder and CEO, produces with Heather, the operations person, every week. And in terms of results again, so this is an email Elad received, and it's just like unbelievable. I'm on your mailing list. I'm reaching out to tell you how impressed I am with your marketing efforts. Your emails are beyond excellent, and most marketing organizations could do well to follow your blueprint. Kudos to you, sir. We did a webinar with Elad, and I told him that this is the kind of email I would forward to my mom. I mean, it's just like that good. And in terms of quantitative results, so great growth of the email database and really solid open rates, and also 2 sales opportunities coming from this email program directly in the couple of months it's been running. So the playbook here, what you basically do is you produce an email program where you feature curated content, which can be industry content or your own original content. Don't pitch your products too often. Please make an effort to write like a human being. And we have a lot of content on our blog on how to do that. And I love this channel because literally this is something that anyone can do. You don't need to be Shakespeare to be able to curate interesting content. Now in the times of COVID, this is very sought after. So there's so much noise, there's so much going on, everything is changing so quickly. People are looking for that authoritative, knowledgeable, thoughtful source to follow to, again, distinguish between the noise and the signal. And you can offer that as a free service to your audience. I mean, what can be better than that to engage your audience? So we also included here a bunch of additional ideas for what we lovingly call sometimes boring content, essentially content that even non-marketing content writers can create with very low investment of time and money and high engagement and ROI.